Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today is cabbage day. I'm going to show you a really quick, easy recipe how to make cabbage. This is just how my mom has always made cabbage when I was growing up, and it's always such a delicious staple in my household from a childhood, and my family loves it. So just sit back and enjoy. Okay guys, so you're just going to chop up your cabbage the way that you like to eat your cabbage, or how you like it to be cut up. I, of course, am just going to just chop mine up the way that I have always eaten mine and clean up my mess, and then I'm going to clean it with white distilled vinegar. Not too much, it just cleans the vegetables really good. You will not have a taste of vinegar at all. And so we'll start the process of cooking everything. I have some onion. This is a whole onion, and I have in my pot right now I have 2 tablespoons of unsalted butter, and I have some roasted garlic extra virgin olive oil. And all I'm going to do is saute this for a few minutes, and then I'll add broth, and we'll rinse our cabbage off and cook our cabbage. Gonna let this saute in that olive oil. You can also use minced onion, but I prefer you to use for this recipe regular onion, because you'll just get this extra flavor that you won't get with the minced onion. Just going to let that saute a few minutes, and then we'll start adding our broth. As you can see, our onions are right where I want them to be. I have a 14-ounce can of beef broth. You can use chicken if you want to. The beef broth for the cabbage just gives it a better flavor to me, but both taste good. I've used both, and you can also use veggie broth if you like, want to be on the healthier side. So while this is just, I'm going to actually turn this on medium-high heat, what I'm going to cook my cabbage on. Cabbage typically takes, no overcooked cabbage takes about 15 minutes. You, of course, don't add your seasonings until the cabbage has wilted down, and I'll show you that. But that's where you get your flavor, because you don't want to add all your seasonings that's going to go into the liquid that's going to cause your cabbage not to have flavor, and when it wilts down, it doesn't have flavor. So you want to wait till your cabbage is wilted down into your broth or your water, and then add your spices. And it only takes about 15 minutes for a cabbage to cook. Remove it off the heat, and it's so delicious, not overcooked, and you can plate it with whatever you want to plate it with. Broth is simmering, as you can see. I'm going to go ahead and start adding my cabbage little at a time into my pot. And a cabbage is not like, you know, something that tastes good being overcooked. Nothing tastes good being overcooked, but cabbage, you really don't want to overcook it, because it will just be a mushy mess. So you want to make sure that you cook it at the right time. And I've also made cabbage in the Instapot. Of course, with the Instapot, you won't need as much liquid, but 3 minutes for a cabbage in the Instapot is all you need. On steam, 3 minutes. And as far as a crock pot, I've never made cabbage in a crock pot, but I'm sure you can, and you probably will, but just try it either way. Crock pot on top of the stove, frying it up, or just boiling the cabbage like how I'm doing right now, or Instapot. So what I'm going to do is, while this is cooking, I'm just going to kind of rotate this a little bit as it kind of cooks down. Put it down. For the pieces that are cooking down faster than others. And I'm making, of course, 2 cabbages because that's what my family always eats. But of course you can make the same recipe with just 1 cabbage, or you can triple it, whatever. And I'm just gonna let that cook down and we'll start adding our spices. So the cabbage, of course, is cooking down still. And that usually takes about 5 to 10 minutes. I had a lot of cabbage, so of course it'll take less if you've got less. I'm gonna add a cup of water. I have, of course, this Sazon all-purpose seasoning. I have 6 pepper, some chicken bouillon. I have 1/4 cup of vegetable oil, and I have some brown sugar, which I'll use about a teaspoon of sugar. It's not gonna make the cabbage sweet, it's gonna make the cabbage flavorful, okay? Let's go ahead and get these seasonings added. As you can see, the cabbage is looking good. I'm gonna go ahead and add my oil and just give that a stir to coat the cabbage. Another thing too about overcooking cabbage, if you have too much liquid will cause your cabbage to be mushy, and then you'll have some firm pieces and some mushy pieces, so you don't want that. Okay, so that's looking good. I'm gonna go ahead and add my water. A couple of dashes of this 6 pepper. If you don't have 6 pepper, of course, just use something with paprika and crushed red pepper and black pepper. That's all. It's not gonna make it too spicy, but it'll just give it a little kick. And then, of course, a couple of dashes of that everything seasoning. So this recipe is like not a precise on seasonings. Because you just pretty much just go with the flow once you taste it. You may need to add more, you may not. And then of course I'm just going to use like a little bit of, like a pinch or so of the chicken bouillon. So not even a teaspoon. And then that brown sugar. And I'm gonna give this a stir. See, I do not have too much liquid in my pot. Too much liquid is covering your vegetables completely. So you wanna still be able to see liquid, but you wanna be able to see your vegetables above that. See the onion, see everything coming together. Now at this point, I'm turning my cabbage off and I'm leaving it on the stove, and I'm just gonna cover it for about 5 minutes, and then I'll show you how it looks. So this is the cabbage. I tasted it, and I did need to add a little bit more of that chicken bouillon, but that's a good thing. So just once it's done, you just mix it all together and taste it and see if anything else needs to be, but it's still delicious and cooked to perfection, not overcooked. And I'm just pairing it with some smothered chicken, some pineapple glazed ham, some homemade mac and cheese, and some cornbread. And my husband already took a piece of the bread, and that is our Sunday lunch. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you try this cabbage recipe, and I will see you guys next video. Bye.